trafficking, sex trafficking specifically, because human trafficking involves labor trafficking. But it also was to highlight the nonprofit organizations that are stepping up and doing something about it. That's what really my project's about. It's sharing the survivor stories because their stories are the most important. But I also wanted to highlight the organizations that have stepped up and are doing either rescue, restoration, or reintegration. Whatever skills we have, we need to step up for the cause. I mean, because these are our children. They're our future. Most of the survivors I've interviewed were molested even before they got trafficked. But once they have been trafficked, now they can't get married in their cultures. So it's like double trauma. So what Jacqueline is doing is the aftercare, restoration, and education, which is so important.
What Professor Kelly is doing now, bringing this type of awareness, I can't thank you enough for bringing out this word to the world. Because when I was in those camps, they were whispers, little whispers. It was right in the middle. The war was at its height. We're talking about the end of 2014. And when we got there, we had our container with us. At this point, we still didn't know that girls were being abducted in Iraq. Again, whispers. When we get there to provide humanitarian aid, in the camps, we start learning that there are girls that are abducted. It was at the level of a genocide. A genocide had occurred against Christians and Yazidi. It had occurred. And then later, the U.S. House of Representatives declared that genocide had occurred, sent aid, sent troops, sent help. A year later, we got to the UK Parliament. UK Parliament decided the same thing, unanimously, genocide had occurred. Today, we have a mechanism, that's what a part of what we do as an organization. We have a mechanism created by the United Nations that's been there for years now in Iraq, collecting evidence. Mass graves, there are still 80 mass graves in Sinjar that have not been dug up. So what we do as an organization is we help on every level. Psychologically, mentally, providing aid, advocating for the girls, but also prevention. Prevention. At a very young age, teaching the children and helping them with their trauma, teaching them the values, the important values that would prevent, hopefully prevent, a lot of these children from becoming involved in these types of things in the future. How to unify with people from other religions, how to respect people from other walks of life, how to understand that we are all one in our community and we can work together. And it's layers, it's a lot of layers. So as I end, I just pose that question back to all of you. Does everybody here, these heroes, as they did, leaving their homes, leaving their states, leaving their families, and going there. You don't have to go there. But what can you do in your society? What can you do with what you have? What tools do you have in your hand? And how are you going to respond to the call to action? Because it's not just about Iraq. It's now become a worldwide problem. And what can you do to help those that need it the most? So thank you all. Thank you for the time.
We're going to move on to the first thing, which is getting them rescued, which was Steve and what Pastor Kevin did. So we'll start with Steve.
First of all, I want to thank Kelly for inviting and interviewing me for this. So I stepped away from the program that I was on for 6, 7 years, 8 years-ish, back in 2019. At that time, we had broken up 6 operations of child trafficking across the Middle East. We go in and we grab the babysitters. That's all they are. They're babysitters. They're not the ones that grab them. They're not the ones that sell them. They're just the ones watching them. Black bag their heads, bring them out, throw them in a towel, bye, see you. Curtis takes care of them. They're going to take care of them. Then about 15, 20 minutes later, they come walking out, the kids. As young as 5, 6 years old. It's disgusting. The 14-year-old traumatized. For the rest of their life, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think the oldest we've had come out was 15 years old. Youngest was 5. It's $1 billion operation that's happening worldwide. It's disgusting. It's happening in our backyard. Go across the border, they're gone. Our closest border. Everybody's checking people coming south and north, but who's checking them going north or south? Think about that. So the young lady over the list, what can you do? I'm gonna tell you what, you make the problem bigger so everybody hears it. I'll give you the brutal truth. If you see these posters, the kid's been missing since August. What do you think's happened to that kid? And it's the brutal truth. That's today's society. Money's driving it. Like the young lady said, these kids are traumatized for the rest of their life. The first camp we broke up in 2014 in Afghanistan. That's 9 years ago. You got to think, where are those kids? What are those kids doing now? Could it be worse? It's got to be worse now. You see what happened in Afghanistan a while ago. So the documentary is the brutal truth. And it's intense, but it's what's happening today. Again, thanks Kelly for a very intense but brutally honest documentary. And I hope it just gets out there and the world sees it. I hope the world sees it. And that's going to make itself very loud, and you need to be loud about it. Okay? So, thanks.
We can't give up. We can't throw our hands up in the air and say, this is getting worse, it's too much, and where am I going to go hide? No, we got to come out of that place and really face it with everything that God has put on the inside of us. And there's many things people can do and should do, but also all of us can pray, and God wants to work through all of us to do that.
So one of the things that we're expanding into is the dark web. Right now what we're doing basically, like I said, is just video and images, horrific. But it's very, very challenging, because once you find the homepage basically where this is being posted, usually within a week it's gone. They change it to something else. So you have to go find it again, or find a different one again. We're also recovering a lot of information on sites that are actually selling the children. So if you're in Romania, you can buy a 4-year-old girl. If you're in different countries. The other thing is that we're starting a brand new ministry, and that's helping to locate children who are being sold, they're being sold for their organs. They're street children, like in Damascus, Egypt, Syria. So they're taken off the street because there's no parent, there's nobody to report them missing to, right? And so they take them, and then they sell them to whoever, and they take their organs, which means they kill them. Okay, so we're trying to get a team that's specifically and totally dedicated to just locating those children. And we have contacts in Damascus, we have contacts in these different countries where it's happening. So that part's pretty much taken care of. It's just identifying the groups that are doing it so we can go ahead and have them arrested, or give Steve a call and have that taken care of.
You know, there's a war on children.
Yes, yes.
There's a war on children between sex trafficking, and when they're no longer abuse of that, then they'll kill them for their organs. So like, you know, when a child, they like getting them young, and then, you know, it's like 5 to 10 times a night, if not more. And they do this for years, and then when they're all used up, and then they kill them and get the organs. Like, they're getting every dime out of them as possible. I mean, this has to stop. And so it's us that have to somehow, in whatever way you can, like you said, get loud. But there's a war on our children. Big issue globally. So that's what 26 Seconds is about. It's just, obviously, film is creating awareness. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I know it's been a long night.